Hi guys, it's Jen, also known as Quirks and Stitches, and
Cindy, also known as Jen's mom.
we are here for our 11th,
We're pretty sure.
marathon.
We were going to check that beforehand, but we, of course, didn't, so we are doing it mentally.
At least we're consistent with something.
Well, this is true. Yeah. Oh.
So, we are here. It is April 23rd. And it is Friday morning. I got smart finally and took Friday and Monday off so that I can actually enjoy, and I don't know, these are like refill weekends for me where I just kind of recharge and breathe again and get ready to go. I preach self-care a lot to my teachers, and I'm like, stitch, do something. For me it's stitching, but it might not be for you. So we are here ready to go. We've decided this marathon we're going to be working on our Consider the Lilies again. It's our this or that project because my way is different than her way. We are like exact opposites.
Yes,
like for as similar as we are,
I know.
we stitch so differently.
Yeah.
So we will show you now where we are starting. I guess
okay.
She just like shoved hers under her thigh.
Well, because she dropped mine on the floor because she had her coffee on the table.
I didn't drop it because I had my
upside
coffee.
Down.
Go ahead.
Well, it was like, oh, you can go first.
No, go first.
I'm older.
So hers is on 35 count. Is it also
Right.
backwards? Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's also backwards. I'm doing an Ellen.
So she is doing hers on
35 count lamb's wool. Antique lamb's wool.
yes.
With DMC.
Yes.
I use DMC. I'm a DMC girl.
Yeah. So and I am.
And I'm kind of really all over the place.
You really are.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it. And it's so funny because I am so particular about starting on the left, and she is so particular about starting over on the right, and I know.
And it's not because you're left-handed or I'm right-handed.
It's not. It's
anything.
tension
It's just...
for me. I get so many questions about whether I stitch in hand or with a hoop.
And then
or whatnot.
she's so neat with her fabric.
So I got to the middle. And I don't have everything filled in over here. Like there's some, especially with the white.
You have the bulk filled in.
I have the bulk.
I mean,
but...
you know.
So I was excited last weekend. We ended up, I think, doing 3 movies last weekend. We've been doing this on Sundays too. And because I got the tree placed and it checked out and was okay with where it was going to go. So I was glad to have that marked in and know that that's kind of my starting spot for this. So thinking I may actually run a counter and see how many actual stitching hours we get. We'll get way over 24, but I don't believe we're shooting for anything consecutive or anything like that again. But we're just gonna stitch till we don't want to stitch.
Yeah, one of your videos popped on when we're sitting there talking and go, yeah, we're gonna go 24 straight. And that was way back when didn't have my bangs and had my dark hair, so I was like, oh yeah, remember that one.
Yeah, my hair has gone through a whole gambit of different styles and looks and everything. You guys have been with me. I used to wear makeup when I would film. You get what you get, guys.
Yeah.
So we decided with our movies this time, because we always have to have a reason. And for me, it's really, I need to limit my choices, because if I have too many choices, it's way overwhelming and I just freeze. So what we decided to do was alphabetically. We're not going to go alphabetically, but we both looked at movies that start with letters of the alphabet, and we each picked two for each movie. There is one that I only have one for, though. Because
I think there's one, yeah. I think I empty one, too.
And we thought of, kind of the movie that we would want to watch. I know that it's not always my favorite movie, necessarily, but it's like a movie I haven't seen in a while, or a movie that I think she might like. I was trying to be conscious of that and no more Fight Clubs and things
that she won't like.
So I was trying to do that. So we're just gonna do a random alphabet letter generator. We were gonna get us categories dice, but then that was gonna be loud and
it was downstairs. Really, to be honest, it was downstairs. We had to walk downstairs, which isn't bad walking down. It's coming back up. So.
Hey, I've got a fake hip. I'm okay. I'm claiming bionic joint right now. So we're going to start with the letter M. Mm-hmm. So what are your movies?
My movies were Mr. Holland's
Oh, I haven't
Opus,
seen that in a long time.
and My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, those are good choices.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty excited.
Mine are Memento and Moulin Rouge. So, yeah. Well, I figured to have music, and so I do like it sometimes with music. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 of those movies. We both picked 2 so that we knew that if we both picked the same 2, we would also have 2 to watch. We find that like a 2-movie stretch is like perfect for us. We get enough progress to come back and like show you what's going on. Gets us both a chance to kind of have something we like too, so you're going to see something that, not that I mean, we agree on those things like that. There's some of your movies that I don't like.
Like what?
I was like, she's allowed to not like my movies, but I'm not allowed to not like hers.
That's right.
I'm not going to tell you now because what if you chose it?
This is true because I'd for sure make you watch
You go
it.
more romantic comedy than I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm dark.
Oh,
I'm dark and twisted.
Oh, well, yeah, you're dark. Yeah. Like Johnny Darko or
Donnie
Darko, but that one wasn't as bad. Fight Club.
I already mentioned that I won't make you watch that again.
Yeah, but there was another one you made me watch too the last time that wasn't too great. And we're at my house this time instead of Jen's house.
We are.
So.
She's got her whole little vignette.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to put my little needle minder back there.
I know, because she has so... Where is it? I'm just holding it over.
And then we'll set it back there.
Up.
This is by Primitive Hair, my little needle book.
It's so cute.
That I made and I made up and did. So I had it sitting out. And she's working on one. You're working on the Halloween one?
It.
Oh, you finished it. Do I have it to
Probably
make?
Not.
No. And I'm working on Thanksgiving, but I was just thinking, I think after this I need to get the red, white, and blue one out.
And I was, when I was picking my 222s, I was conscious of trying to do like different style stitching things too. So I would have things that wanted to be finished as frames so I picked a bunch of needle books because I really do want just like kind of a basket of them or a dough bowl. I have a dough bowl and nothing in it currently. So
yeah, well, I do too.
Do you?
I have one, yeah. It's out in the thing and it's got like fake walnuts or something in it.
Or
that's
yeah.
yours?
No, I don't have anything in mine. I don't know. So anyway, so we are going to stitch. If you're new to 24 hours of cross stitch, we just stitch. It started out going 24 hours straight. We don't do that anymore. Some people do, but there's a Facebook group. There are people all over the world that join in and stitch with us, and
I've already been started. It started at midnight on
gives a justified reason to take time and recharge. So we do them quarterly throughout the year, and we love what it's become. So we are excited to stitch with you while in our homes, and so we're gonna have
in
some
our pajamas.
Yes, always in our pajamas. Always. And I've got my coffee. It was apparently stressing her out this morning that it was near my stitching, so doesn't stress me out. It's fine.
It doesn't.
Careful.
No, it's really more my stitching. Really care.
Okay, guys. We'll be back with updates as we go. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So I said it wasn't working, and then
phone didn't stop ringing.
So I did do a little bit of that, but it happens. I never feel like I do much.
I know.
We watched Memento and Mr. Holland's Opus. I haven't seen Mr. Holland's Opus in like forever.
So
and
good.
I just forget that I cry. And it's just like why you are a teacher when you're a teacher, is that movie. So I was doing really good. And then I found a spot where I didn't know what was wrong. And I had to have her look at it because I'm like, I can't find where my mistake is. And so I did some frogging. She did some frogging. Hers was a little more major than mine. Mine was just a toilet.
It's really major.
I could have fudged.
Yeah.
But, she left out Adam's waist. So
about 4 rows of his chest. So he was like
he's
a
gonna
short
be a little
person,
truncated person.
And he had no arms. Amputee. I'll explain it
all of a
better when
sudden
I
hear
show
grumbling
you.
and words she won't admit that she says.
Hi.
There's a really fun story, Jen and Mom's story about swearing, and it's my favorite mom story.
But she won't
But
tell
she
that.
would kill me if I told you guys on here. So
Yeah.
someday when it's a late night stitching room and we are in person, I will tell you that one, but that is not an internet story. So, do you want to show yours?
Okay, so I decided I already had my tree in, so I was just going to focus on putting Adam and Eve and the snake in, which I did. I got Adam and Eve, the snake, the dog beside Eve, and then I started the tree. But with Adam, I had him all in, and the hair and everything, and I had Eve in, and I started with the snake up at its head coming down, and then all of a sudden there was this big gap in the snake. And I'm thinking, why isn't the snake hooking up? You know, and I look at the picture. Well, here, because ahead of time, I took my working copies and I put them together where they meet because I have such a hard time counting. So I was going up and down because the line is their heads and stuff. So I had it, but when I placed it in the wrong spot. I didn't realize it. Yeah. So I had to rip it all out because I wanted him done. No, there was not.
Let's talk a minute about these clips. You use these clips to keep it.
Yeah.
You don't find that it.
Well, I just did that now. I just have them on the side usually, but I did it now just to hold it up.
See, I tried this to do because like with my rolling, like my mom was asking me when I roll my fabric if I roll under or over. So I roll so the stitching side is out. She yells at me all the time because I always have the stitching side out. And it has to be even on these ends. Like I don't like it if it doesn't. Well, I can keep doing it, and then it will, and then I have to roll it a lot. I've tried using the clips. It changes the weight, and I can't get my tension right.
It puts wrinkles in it and stuff, but... You know, and I actually think this hand-dyed stuff, or this dyed stuff, gets softer, makes the linen softer when it's, you know...
Some of them. I mean, R&R is not going to be softer. R&R is like the stiffest... Lakeside is very soft, but I worked on the tree. I think I only had some of the right side branches in. I did all the left side. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think so. And then I was doing the leaves, and then I did this branch was off by one here, which doesn't seem like a lot, but then every single leaf and all the apples I would have to make adjustments for, and I didn't feel like doing that, so I tore it out.
Oh, did you?
I didn't sit there and swear though.
In your head you did.
Kind of.
Maybe not out loud.
I mean, I have the worst mouth out of us, but I controlled it.
I didn't.
You did swear. So our next movie letter, we did a random number letter generator thing, is C.
You can tell me yours first this time.
Okay, I did one of your favorites.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Did you do that one? Okay, that's good. And I did Can't Hardly Wait, because that's... Like,
okay.
I don't know. Have you ever seen it?
I think so.
It's
I think I watched
Embry,
it. Yeah.
Who was like my girl crush from...
Yeah.
Did anybody watch Freaky Links? It was on for like probably 10 episodes. And it was my favorite, and it was him. But yeah, it's Ethan Embry and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, I think when we watched Empire Records, I was confusing that with Can't Hardly Wait.
They're graduating, and the music is great, and it's just high school.
Okay, so I did...
Except not my high school experience at all. Someday we'll tell that story, too.
I did Conspiracy Theory and The Color Purple.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I don't know if you'd ever even seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a really long time. It's a long movie, and it's a little depressing.
A little bit of a downer.
Yeah. so we are going to have to go with Conspiracy Theory.
Might be a little too early for...
Yeah, right. We can add that in on the Sunday stitch. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's
forever.
intense. Yeah.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah. Except I love Danny Glover, and he's just Not a nice guy in this one. But Whoopi's good, so.
Yeah. So, so we're going to go watch some more movies. Dad made tuna fish. He's not going to... Is he going to watch this?
He could.
It took a very long time.
Like 40 minutes.
I love my father, and I have a bajillion of his traits. I make tuna fish faster.
Most people do. But it's going to be really good. Yeah.
As long as the onions aren't as little as they
were the other day when he made it as a surprise last week. And it was really, really good. He tended to like to make it drier than I liked it, and he's learned to not make it so dry. But I like to have a crunch in it, and I don't put celery in it anymore. I just put onions, so I put a lot in, and they're big and crunchy.
For egg salad, not tuna salad.
Yeah. No, I used to. Long ago, before I met your father. So...
I might have stepped on one of her needles. I don't know.
Could be, because I was thinking I was losing.
It's going to be Watson's not here.
I know. I was thinking that. Watson's not here, because I can lose needles now.
She keeps dropping her little card that has thousands of needles.
But they're attached, so I don't have to worry about that. They're attached double thread, so they don't come off. It's not like I put them in so that the needles won't come off the thread. But that's not. They come off my needle minders. Okay.
We're going to go stitch.
All right.
I think I need a snack, though.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
And my good ice maker is in my house. Brandon was like, if it wasn't so many parts, I would just bring it over. And so I filled up 2 Yetis with ice, and I have one in the fridge, and I've cracked into my second thing. And he's going to have to bring some
when
later.
He comes over.
So. My iron must be low because my teeth can handle the cold, so that's never a good sign. So, okay, we are gonna go stitch. Bye. We're back. I was just telling my mom I'm already sore. I don't know what is going on with my body today. I don't know. So, we finished 2 more movies.
Right.
We did, what did we do? Can't Hardly Wait and Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah.
So, our next letters is you. What was yours?
U.S. Marshals.
Oh, that's a good one. Usual Suspects.
I figured I almost put that one down.
I also put Urban Legends down because that is another like complete guilty pleasure, and it's the girl from Mr. Holland's Opus. But
oh really?
The
mother? Oh, the redhead.
Mm-hmm. But we will do Usual Suspects instead.
I haven't seen that in years.
Any excuse for that movie. Okay. I love that movie. U.S. Marshals. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with that. Some actiony things. I need something a little faster than. I mean, Conspiracy Theory is fast, but I know it, and it's like quirky fast. Like it's not like I don't know. I kind of spaced out there for a while. So we also got a mail delivery today, and my mom has been ordering things, and so she surprised me with little goodies. So this is adorable. This little whale.
Kitten Stitcher.
It's Kitten Stitcher, and it's the primitive hair.
Yeah.
And it's a little whale. And one of my categories for 222 is whales.
And I got the kitten.
Another one of my categories for 222 is pets. But she's the cat lady.
This is mine.
So, me first, you first.
Doesn't matter. Okay. I just worked on the tree next to Eve. The tree and got that done. I don't know. And then I went up and did this, and I did the little motifs. I just
don't. You go. I don't.
Well, because I had the thread. I had this in. I had the bottom of that one in, and I had that thread. So I went up there, and then there was a little motif, and because I have all my needles threaded, I had the things to do that little one under the angel, and then I went down. I did a lot underneath the words, because I did. I did quite a few of those. 2 of the top 2 flower ones, a little one. I started filling in the birds' flowers on that bird tree by the house.
These are so big. Yours is like massive.
I know.
The difference between 40 and 35 count is just insane. Yeah, you got a lot done. I only worked on apples. Well, and leaves.
Oh, they look really good. They look so pretty with the apples in there. The color.
So I've got all the apples in except for like as I was going, I was circling the leaves and the apples that I missed. So I have, I don't know, maybe like 4 leaves to do and I think just 1 apple. I'm just trying to like with a highlighter like highlight my things that I need to go back and pay attention to so that either if I have that color on my thing or I'm just thinking I'm going to do it now and just forget. Because like I know like this basket still has to be filled in and like there's a wing on this bee that's not done and the hedgehog isn't finished. So
yeah, I have a lot of fill in.
Forget that.
Yeah, but I'm leaving that till a little bit later tonight when I'm tired of spacing things. I'm still trying to get spaced.
Yeah.
But I cross out when I have them totally completed.
I don't.
I know. I do.
I know. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just I don't. I don't like to see lots of color on my chart.
I just do it on a pencil though. I don't do it with the highlighter. And when I use a highlighter, I use it to do in my stitches so I can see them better. Or, colored marker to highlight my stitch count. But when I do it, I use a pencil and just cross it out. And sometimes if I do part of it, there's 2 sections, I'll cross off what's finished. Like up by the house, I have the leaves done, but I haven't finished the top part.
Okay. See, I just didn't think a pencil would stand out enough to me. But I try to use the highlighter sparingly because, honestly, you guys are all freaked out about my coffee. I'm way more scared about getting the highlighter on my project. Like, and that's probably one of the reasons why I use a pencil with that. And I'm real careful that I highlight my colors to do away from my fabric ahead of time so it's dry. I just got cheapo. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So we talked about our movies. We ordered Chinese food that is being picked up by Brandon because they don't deliver here. Okay, Ohio Chinese food is not East Coast Chinese food, and so
it's really hard anyway.
And we found one place that is okay, like that I will accept. Like it's still not what we are used to. And I mean, it's not like I just lived in Philly. Like lived in Virginia, and Brandon and I have the same expectation for Chinese food, so it must be an East Coast thing. I don't know. So, but it's Brandon's comfort food, so
he hasn't had it for a while.
He hasn't had it for a long time, and he's doing Extra Life is running some tournaments this weekend. So Extra Life was the thing that kicked off our like inspired our 24 hours. So he's gaming tomorrow. So we're like, well, we'll get you Chinese food, but you have to pick it up.
Yeah, right.
They're not on DoorDash. Yeah. So that is our plan. I think I have a second wind. I took some Tylenol just to not be so sore. I don't know, my like collarbone hurts. How does your collarbone hurt? What kind of face was that? She's not very talkative right now. She's ready to go do something else.
No. Can't do anything else till the food comes.
Right. Well, we won't be starting our movies till
I could go take a shower.
You could. Yeah. Well, plenty of time for your hair to dry. And who knows if we'll film again tonight because 2 more movies. 8, you know.
And we're gonna eat. Oh yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, and then my hair will dry better.
Isn't this exciting and thrilling conversation for you guys?
Okay.
We'll be funnier later.
We will. It'll be time for wine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Or we will have had some before we come back. Okay. If we come back, I don't know.
She might change her shower plan now. I'm not really sure. We'll see. But there will be wine, so who cares?
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
So it's the morning. She just spent the last 10 minutes trying to look nice. I'm like, okay, I'm not even changing my t-shirt.
Thank you for saying trying to look nice. She didn't say to look nice. She said trying to look nice. Okay. Thank you very much. She just got up. It's like I've been up for 2 hours and was about to think I was going to have to wake up my husband and say, we need to go check on Jen because I don't hear her moving and I'm scared she's dead.
I slept good.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
She bought me a wedge for the bed here. I use a wedge on my bed. They're fun. It's like a slide.
Yeah.
Sleep better that way. So she bought one for here, and I slept really good. No Watson to snuggle. Be dead weight in the bed. Not move anywhere. So I kept getting confused about what time it was last night, and so I kept thinking it was only like 10 o'clock, but it was midnight, I think, around when we stopped stitching. I am running a timer for just to see, like, curiosity about, like, actual stitch time. We were at, like, 10 and a half hours. And so I'm, like, blocking out, like, Facebook and bathrooms. I peed, like, 1,000 times yesterday.
I guess she didn't try to look.
I didn't try. No, I didn't.
Like if you move your head the one way you can see. Yeah,
My
you're
hair?
smashed.
I know. I don't have hair product with me. What am I going to do? I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's cut right now. It's a grown out buzz cut, and I have to get to a stylist that can make it look like a pixie cut. She's always been very honest about my hair. Are you really going to wear it like that, Jen?
Oh, goodness.
We ever told you the pregnant zone stories yet?
Oh. Yeah.
It's a wonder we still talk.
I know, really.
So we are going to stitch.
Finally.
Sorry. You have 1,000 projects here. You could have worked on your little cat.
Oh.
I got
Don't let me get in the way, hon.
I won't.
Just put it up.
I worked on the tree. I think I have one missing apple.
Oh, look at you. Got Adam and Eve, too.
Almost. Eve's floating, but
No legs.
not yet.
Amputee.
And I'm hoping to get down to the house today. I think that'll happen. So.
Oh, she's like little Miss Silent. Complaining about the tree all day, and then she was sneaking in other things.
Well, you already did Adam and Eve.
I know. I was doing when you were doing the tree.
Where did you work?
Where did I work? Down
So
below
hard to
Adam and
show.
Eve. I did the bird by the house and down
excited
and
about that
filled the
bird.
flowers. Yeah, I was too. And that stitched up really quick.
I was too, but I didn't like it.
Well, yeah. And I did some fill in, like that big red flower down there. I hadn't filled that
Okay.
in yet. Finished the peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Put the birds, finished that thing beside the house. Got all the leaves and vase in. So I did fill in work, and
Okay.
which doesn't really look like you have done that much, but no. I have.
When you changed, we didn't talk. You changed Adam and Eve's skin tone.
I did because it was gold on my color.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do gold, so I did
The hazel tone,
738.
I feel like comes across in the classic colorworks like a tan. Like I'm okay with it in the overdyes, but what was it, 720 or something?
Yeah, it was
like something like
it was
very, very gold
yeah.
that wouldn't be a typical skin tone. I definitely recommend changing it up to what you're comfortable with when you're stitching. There are multiple conversion charts out there that give some good options.
Yeah.
So, what else?
movies.
Movies. We're going with the letter B.
And mine are beaches
Okay, I haven't seen that in a long time.
and big.
Okay, I did Batteries Not Included
Oh,
because that's just a fun movie.
yeah.
And The Butterfly Effect.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard picks.
I tried to think of ones that were like that I haven't seen in a while, but that I know that I know, you know, like that because when I'm stitching, I don't want to have to be looking up 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I don't pick new movies generally. So we're gonna.
Okay.
I don't know what we're doing for breakfast.
I don't know.
She's ready to like go. Like
Oh, she's not. Okay.
I'm not a morning person anymore. It just I was a morning person for a lot of years, and then pandemic happened and anxiety meds happened. And mornings became a groggy little like, oh,
yeah,
time for me. So, we're gonna
we can DoorDash if you want breakfast.
We'll do something. And we are gonna stitch and watch movies and have a repeat of yesterday because this is what refills us and recharges us. And hope it's doing that for you too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi. We are.
Family sometimes doesn't understand that we do these weekends.
I know.
Then other things pop up, but you know, it's okay. The people in our immediate family get it, so at least we got breakfast. Pickup.
Kind of. We had to. Yeah, we did. We got breakfast pickup.
She's a little negative right now. She's not the happiest. We might have to break out white a little early.
We might.
So, we watched Beaches and Batteries Not Included and stitched a bunch.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to talk about when we're doing the same project. Like, I don't know.
Life.
I finished Eve, moved down, did the little flower bird, and I'm starting the other flower so that I can get to the house.
What flower bird? Oh, the flower and the bird.
And the other flower.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I got done.
Well, I kind of was filling in, so I don't know how much you can kind of tell. I filled in my honeycomb, my horse, added some flowers to one of the things. Oh, and then on the other side, which now I've got rolled up, on the other side of the tree up top, I actually did stuff that's rolled and you can't really see it. You have to take the paper clip off.
Here?
Yeah, take that off and unwind it. I finished that big flower thing on top, which I didn't have done. And then if you unwind it a little bit more, I started another flower, added the flower, the trees, and started that other green stuff. So just because I was on that page and didn't move it. So working my way.
So differently.
Yeah. Back.
I would forget to fill in all these things.
Well,
She has her little extra stuff.
and plus I can see that they need to be filled in.
Well, because once I roll mine, I'm pretty much like, I'm good. Like, I'm not looking at that all the time.
Well, yeah.
So unless it's in the section that I'm currently unrolling to, you know, it's kind of almost like I stitch in hand, but I kind of treat it almost like I'm in a Q-stamp because I'm very...
Right.
I only see a portion of what I'm doing, kind of.
Well,
maybe that's
you're
not
in
a good
that
comparison.
page.
No, you think I am.
Well,
a
you're
lot
not
more
as much
than
more. I think you
am.
used to be more.
When I first started doing things with multiple pages, what she's talking about is where like you have a thing that goes onto 2 pages and you just stop when it ends. So like you could be like the house, for instance, and in Consider the Lilies spans 2 pages. So a page stitcher would just do 3/4 of the house and then finish the other quarter once they pull that page over.
Right.
So I don't stitch like that anymore. I
Right.
merge my pages together like you do, except I don't miss sections.
All right. I have happened one time.
So
that has happened one time. Ever. Usually I don't tape them, but there's so many in this that I just did. Usually I just
she
fold.
She was so excited too because she was like, I'm going to make some that go up and down, and
I
I'm going to make them that go across, but then she did it wrong. So
one, and it saved me a lot of time. I've only made one mistake.
I put mine on my magnet board and used the magnets.
And that's what I've done, but it takes me longer to situate them up. So
my problem is if I tend to only use one working copy, so that then when I try to untape them, I lose parts of the pattern.
Well, I usually only have one, but it ended up somehow I had an extra one, and so I knew. So I thought, well, I'll do it both ways, and and it's just fine, because there's one's 4 one way and the other one's 6 one way, so it's a lot. But no, so it's kind of a gloomy day here,
It's
and
kind of a perfect stitching day.
yeah,
actually.
it is really. And we're doing the letter. Did we say what we're doing? Oh,
What was yours? She
Out
only has
of
one.
Time.
Oh, that's a good one. That's what
I know.
Johnny Depp? No.
Now Denzel.
Out of Time is
Denzel Washington.
Oh, the one in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. With, what's her name?
Yeah. Hispanic.
I forget her name.
No. I can see her. I can't.
Yeah, I
think
can
of
see
who.
her too. But so that's a good one.
I know. That's an action. I mean, that's a fast-paced one.
So I have Ocean's 11 and 1 Hour Photo. Because I haven't seen 1 Hour Photo in a really long time.
Oh, I haven't either.
And yeah, I think that's where I want to go. Not
okay.
Ocean's 11. I mean, Ocean's 11 is quirky and stuff, but
yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
it's been a long time. So.
Yeah.
To pick our movies, I first went through like my list of movies that I keep alphabetically, so that was easy. But then I also went through like, I just Googled like movies that start with O, and I got to like Roger Ebert's like list of movies that have been reviewed. So I would just go through alphabetically. The only area that got funny was T, because I'm like, why wouldn't they change? But you were gonna do that.
But I did that because just on my spreadsheet that I have, if I put the name in the color purple, instead of just putting color purple on it, I put the correct name, just like I do
color purple,
with
comma, the.
Well, I don't. Why do I have to use a comma?
Because then it sorts it alphabetically correctly.
Well, it does. And so I was just putting them all down there, then figuring I would take them out and put them in the C's or the what's, because I figured
I do my patterns the same way in my designers. So
yeah,
like
and I don't.
I keep all my working copies in folders on my computer, or I scan all my patterns. I'm just not good with paper. I do much better. As organized as you guys think I am, I'm really not. She'll tell you, yeah, I'm really not. There's just boxes of papers and things that I don't know what to do with. And
not cross-stitch papers, but
no,
other
the
things in
cross-stitch
our
is
life.
very organized.
Right,
But the
right.
other,
There's some
everything
things
else
really
in my life
organized,
is not.
okay.
But the pattern, the cross-stitch app that does the inventory, X-stitch or whatever it is, they have the there. Like, they don't sort it the way I sort it. So, like, the drawn thread under mine is under D.
Right.
And
under mine, because I keep all of mine in that app, because I do like that app. So I'm not double buying any more than
I found my
normally do.
Folder pattern thing works better.
Well, I use both of them now. I'll double check in case you bought something that I didn't know about. Which that's happened a couple of times.
A few times. So she'll be like, "Look, Jen, I found this whale pattern for you."
This for you.
I already
I
bought
that one. Oh,
Uncharted
okay.
Linen by Not Forgotten Farm is one that I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is where we are at. Gonna watch some movies, maybe get some wine, maybe a beer. Maybe I want a sweet baby Jesus.
Oh.
It feels like a cool enough day still that I could do a porter beer. So maybe that's what I want, I think.
Well, that's good. Yeah, okay.
Maybe it'll make her a little happier. And
I'm happy. I'm just dealing with...
We had a death in the family.
We had...
that, like, last week.
Last week. My uncle, my dad's last family member died. I mean, he's 88. Yeah. It's not unexpected, but... And his wife died at the end of January from COVID. He got COVID too, but he survived it. But she did not. So he's been on his own. And my sister really was very close with him. He kind of took our dad's place when he stepped out of our life. So he was really like a father to my sister. So she's dealing with him because he decided, I don't have any kids, because he never had any children. I don't need a will. I don't need anything. So now it's like, whoa. So I just had a question for my sister about that today, because it's a little more hairy when, even if you are the last person, there's no will. Everybody get a will, get something. So, yeah. So we're just kind of dealing with that. I mean, just the paperwork and stuff to clean up. And because it's so sudden, since his wife did, and there's another family involved. So it's, it's a little more hairy.
You know
but
what families
it's life.
bring up. So it happens, and,
Yeah. So, but, yeah, poor
I'm
guy.
glad he's not living without Jeannie, though. So,
Oh, I know.
Like,
Little
it's just
old
that
man,
better,
yeah. And he just died peacefully, and he
They've
lived a
always
really
been
good life.
together,
He was a retired serviceman, and yeah. So, yeah, it was.
Glad it wasn't suffering.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We are, so that there's that kind of going on this weekend with us too. So, but we just stitch because that is what relaxes us. So when we get in these moods, it's generally she was having some moments this morning, struggling. There were some. Why do I do this?
Well, I know. It's like, those stupid chairs. And then it takes you forever to get in position. And then you get in position and you realize, oh, there's one of my color cards, my things of floss across the room.
I am literally help because I'm on the couch.
Right.
I'm sitting on her couch with my feet up on it and her big, square, huge coffee table that I love that is heavier than...
I know.
Oh my goodness. Usually I just pull the coffee table right up so I don't have a gap and I'm sitting with like long legs on the couch. Not long legs. I don't know.
Long legs. Legs up.
Legs up. I don't have long legs. I am very
leg.
short. It's not even a full length couch and it fits me just fine. But I get stuck then.
Right. So she's stuck too. Out. We can't do anything very quickly. It's a good thing that there's a window she can jump out in case of fire. I guess we'd probably pretty move quick with that, but it's just like you get all situated and ready. And then when you get in that situation, you really don't want to move for a while because we just got to sit there and get stitching going because it just was harder. And I was having I forget what my problem was. Because I was up early this morning. I think it was her. Because I was up early this morning at 7:30 and she isn't here. And pretty soon it's like getting after 9 and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is there something wrong downstairs? I'm going to have to go wake up Lee, her father, and say, okay, Lee, you got to go downstairs and check on Jen. Kind of like I used to do with my husband,
I'm almost 40.
I know, but you could still be dead. I mean, we're just going through sudden death. Okay? And I think I don't want to be the one to go down and find her. And I'm going to have to go get Lee because I'm hearing no noise down there. And then all of a sudden I hear the steps coming upstairs. So she's, oh, hi. Oh, man, did I sleep good? Well, I just been sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting. Wasting hours away. We could be stitching.
Well, I'd sit for how long when you were on the phone with the actress? So,
you did.
Payback.
Half 30 minutes. But you were multitasking. You were doing your other stuff on your phone.
I was. Needle minders are back up on Allison's shop. It's Charm School.
You were having a hard time thinking of that name.
I was on my other film video. Anything she makes
and
is
I
incredible.
kept telling you as I'm watching the video, it's Charm School.
I was having a hard time thinking of anything I was trying to reference was hard on that video.
Yep. So, okay.
Okay.
We need to go
beer and
get cracking. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
We just had like a 5-minute session that should have been filmed.
Oh my god!
Getting ready to be filming. She's getting to the kid though, so it's okay. She wanted to have a whole little talk about her hair too, so this is probably a good segue into it when she's like, "Which way do I go? I don't know how to do it."
I can't.
The webcam is backwards, so it's not a mirrored image, which is very hard to get used to. She has a harder time than I do anymore, but did you want to?
Okay, so here's the deal with my hair. All right, we've just had a pandemic. Okay, so I can't get to the hairdresser. I haven't done. I was in the process, and I just explained this to Jen. I never colored my hair to color the gray. When I started coloring my hair, I did highlights. I did this and that. I never did it to color the gray. And then I was doing highlights enough that then it just started, and then I did get gray. So then it ended up doing it for gray.
So you were dyeing it Just to have lighter
highlights. Yeah, highlights and, to be stylish.
I was only ever allowed to dye my hair God colors.
That's right. I did, yeah, right. God, that's all I did, too. Look natural. Okay. So then it ended up...
Clarification on what God color is. A God color is hair that you can be born with.
That's right. That God made. Yes. For hair. Oh, is it raining? Okay. Anyway... So it ended up, make a long story short, I've dyed my hair for years. And I kept thinking, how do people ever stop this? This is like a long and I have brown hair. So then I ended up putting lots of highlights in it and I became a blonde. And I didn't really like being a blonde. So a year ago, before the pandemic, I went back to darker hair, which I was more comfortable with. Then the pandemic hit and it looked horrible. Then it opened up, so I went back and I said, okay, start putting highlights in. I got to go to blonde. I got to let my hair grow out. Then it got worse, and I haven't been to the hairdresser. So my hair has really grown out, and it is really white. My hair is very white. So I even to try to cut it short now, it's still going to have 2 colors. I don't really want to put any color in, so I've just been pulling it back. My bangs are almost grown out, but I cut them once and I didn't do a really good job. And I was going to try to do that this week, but with my uncle and everything, I didn't get to it. So my hair is really messy, and that's just the way it is. So that's my hair story. And that's why if you look in the back or you can see up front, you can really see how white I am. But Jen's very white too. So
I'm gray.
A lot younger
I'm not
than
white,
I was.
though. That's gray. It's gray. And I'm gray in here. It's not white. And I'm all up under.
Well, yeah, but what I see is just I think it looks good. Yeah.
I'm not going to dye it.
Oh,
so
please
it's just
don't.
It's going to be what it is.
What a waste of money. But anyway.
So put it into cross stitch. I can't. And I need to find a salon that can do a pixie cut because I don't trust anybody here and I don't want to keep buzzing it, but I need somebody that can cut it right.
Okay. So we had 2 movies.
Okay, if you are taking our movies as recommendations of good movies, please know that is not true. We did, what was our first one? Out of Time. That's a good movie. Eva Mendes. Good. As soon as I sat down on the couch, I was like, Eva Mendes, that's who it is. 1 Hour Photo, I am sure I have seen at some point in my movie watching. But you don't need to.
Right. It's very confusing. Yeah.
I didn't think it was confusing.
It was very depressing. And you know what I kept thinking was it's still really hard for me to see Robin Williams. I mean, I've loved him and to know how sad he was in his life and death. And as I'm watching it, though, and this character, I'm thinking, this was not the crazy part of this character, but just a very sad and melancholy
was a more accurate
of really how Robin Williams was, as opposed to when we see all the funny, laughy, and we think of him as such a happy, smiley, happy person. This was probably, which made it sadder too. And then
mental health is no joke, guys. There is a reason why I cling to self-care. You need to find what it is that keeps you calm and doesn't. If you're not, reach out. Really, it's no joke because you can't know what's going on with people. So we just got deep, and that is not something we typically do during these marathons. So we're gonna tune it on back.
Okay. To
show some cross stitch.
You go first.
I'm down to the house. Guys, the roof is a pain in the butt because it's, first of all, the symbols are very, very close together.
Yes.
They are. It's Havana and hazelnut that the colors are, but their symbols are very, very close. One is 2 triangles connecting, and then the other one is a circle with an X through it almost. But they're very similar. So I ended up I got the roof done, but it was slow going. And then I started the windows, which are charted in the blue, Brethren blue, which is my favorite blue, but you can't get because it's gas.
So what are you doing?
I'm doing, it's the only conversion I made was to Classic Colorworks Blue Corn.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm getting those, and she's not sure if she wants to do the
Well,
blue.
because the symbol for that also, it's like this starry, just lined stars. And there's two of them, one's thicker and one's thinner. And I chose the wrong color when I started. So I want to wait and see if I like the blue. But I worked up in here and got, I worked at the top and was working down. Got the angel flowers, started here. And it's just kind of working down on that section.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking I was going to be down in this section to do this thing, but it was the wrong thing. But it doesn't matter. I'll get there eventually.
I just can't believe how different they look.
I know. I can't believe how different yours looks from the cover of the.
Really?
Because your colors are so vibrant there, but the picture is so pastel, and it just must have not been a good picture on the, because it's the book that we got of it. We got the, and I am just amazed. I think those colors are stunning. And when I look at the picture on the pattern, I don't like the colors. So, but anyway.
I'm happy with it. It's not my color scheme. Like, it's much more pastel. Like, not pastel, but spring. Like, it's even the bright spring. Like, the pinks in it. Like, Tennessee Red Clay is just a very more pinky
border,
pink
maybe.
than I thought.
Yeah.
That's not in the border. But, like...
Well, I think those are pinky. But, I mean, you're purple, and that's why I changed my purple. So and even the browns are so deep. And I don't really feel like there's a good brown, the conversion brown, and even the reds are beautiful red. And the dark, deep green is very pretty that you did the writing and the...
That's English ivy, yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm liking it. It's not like I won't.
Oh, yeah,
but I like the palette of His Eyes on the Sparrow better.
Yeah.
So... But I'm glad I'm stitching them both.
Yeah.
And I love the little hedgehog in this.
Yeah,
That's still my favorite part.
I think he's so cute. I like the little fox.
Have I stitched the fox?
It's on the other side. It's on the right side. So maybe there isn't one on the left side. It's on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, on the bottom. Yeah, I did the little fox. Yeah, the little heart. I have to finish his tail, too.
Ooh, didn't finish something.
That's because it's in the marshmallow. The white. It's kind of very sporadically all over the place. So, we are going to do L is our next letter.
Oh.
We vetoed a few letters.
Yeah. Mine are Legal Eagles. I don't know if you've ever seen that with Deborah Winger and Robert Redford and Splash Girl Dariana, which is good. That's a good one. And Life is a House.
Oh, Life is a House is good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in years, and I have them both.
Mine is Life of David Gale, which is very dark, so I don't know that we want to do that right after 1 hour photo. It might not
we got to
be
have something that's going to be.
And Lost Boys.
Oh, well,
So,
yeah.
because teenage vampires.
Yeah.
I just saw a movie on Netflix that I think was directed by the Peter Facinelli that was in Can't Hardly Wait, that had Michael from Lost Boys, the older brother that is becoming a vampire as an adult. And it's like the first thing, he was like a sheriff. And I never would have known that it was him.
You never saw him in anything as an adult? Michael with the gorgeous eyes that... Because I thought I'd seen him in stuff. Because he was very... Yeah. Oh, wow.
But it pulls in Kiefer to our whole little 24 weekends. So we have to do something that is Kiefer pre-Jack Bauer.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I did see on Facebook that somebody was watching season 4, 24.
I've been watching them all week. I binged on 24. I started from season 1 again, and I'm on season 3.
I've been doing X-Files, X's with the X-Files. I'm lightening up my guidelines for myself and letting myself just stitch whatever I want when I'm doing it. But that's what I've been binging. So, and I've gotten some good suggestions for what might have at least 222 episodes to go along with next year. So
good.
I'm thinking about it. We'll see. What did she say?
Nothing.
What did you say? You just said
I didn't say anything.
She did. Thinking about it. What was it that she was?
I was talking to the camera.
Yeah, you were.
The audience.
Mm-hmm. I'll catch it on the playback.
Okay.
Dad's coming out, or Gavi's going in, probably.
Gavi's going
yeah,
in.
the cat
The door's
just went to my
open.
dad's office. So, okay, we have rambled enough this time. Got deep. Time to not be deep again. We did have a sweet baby Jesus.
We did.
It might be time for wine now.
I think so.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See that we start these out arguing every freaking time. She comes over and is like,
Well, because
why are
she
you so
doesn't
tired?
give me any room.
You want to go to bed? I'll just do this by myself. You just go to bed. You want to go home? You can go home. You don't have to stay here anymore. I can't even go home. I don't have a car here.
You can walk. It's only 5 miles. You can
Every time I
walk.
sit down, I yawned, and she's like, "Do you? We're done."
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Okay. So here's
Just
another
another
story,
little
okay?
story.
You got the hair story yesterday, kind of. I didn't really
Earlier
finish
today,
it.
it was-
Earlier today, whatever. Another time. So you may have noticed that my glasses are different. So
Really
I'm
look
wearing...
all that different.
They don't, but what you may have noticed as you're watching this, they
Is
don't
that
keep
you're not
sliding down all the time. Because when I'm watching myself afterwards, it was bugging me with these glasses. So but she was making me hurry, and then she was giving me a hard time. So
She was giving me a hard time right back. Yes.
okay,
Let's show your stitching. I went first last time.
okay. Well, I don't even know. I don't know where I'm at. I'm over on the side that is the most empty. Jen's side over here, which would be the audience's, which would be
Who knows?
the left side of the
side
piece.
that is not complete.
Right.
Is what she is working on.
And I'm working down there. I got the purple in. You can see some purple. I did the tree beside it. And I'm going to just start doing flowers and filling in the border, I think. I was having a hard time deciding, okay, which motif do I want to do now? I did a couple other fill-in ones, but I think I'm going to, because I can get a little rhythm with
the border.
on the border. So I think I'll go back and fill some of those in.
It is just amazing to me how much bigger it is on the 35 count. I mean, so when I did his eyes on the sparrow, I did mine on the big count.
Right,
Mine
I
was
did
on
mine on
36
40.
count and hers was on 40. So we swapped it this time. I'm not sure why. I'm still working on the house. I got all the windows, the door in, and then it's hard to see, but...
Because it's so little. If it was on 35, you could see
It's
it
the same color, but I'm working on the mortar that will be between the bricks. So that way I can just fill in with the bricks. I haven't decided if there's a color, like a pattern with the colors. What are you looking at?
See how blue that is, because it doesn't even look blue. It looks
It
gray.
doesn't. Well, blue corn is definitely not a true conversion for Brethren Blue, but it was the closest I could find. But
See,
it's
that's
the
what I was-
lighting in here. It's more blue when you see it, not under your... I love your lights, but they
Okay.
do not give... The
Thank
aesthetic
you.
of your lights is exactly what I love.
Okay.
The lighting that they give is sometimes a little frustrating, especially like playing card games and things where there's color differentials. Ticket
This
to
is
Ride
true.
is hard. So when we're talking color of the stitching,
Okay.
also may not be true to life. We watched Lost Boys and Life of David Gale. We watched both. Oh, we didn't pick another letter.
No, we didn't.
Hold on, you'll get to see us fight over this.
Right, because she kind of yells at me and picks on me with this.
Say stop.
Stop.
D. Now we have to decide if
Now
we
we
want to
have
watch
to-
our D movies or not. I don't want to watch. Okay, with mine. She's looking first.
Oh, yep, I have two. Okay.
Okay.
I have Dave
Okay.
or Driving Miss Daisy.
Okay. I have Devil's Advocate.
Oh.
And Dead Poet Society.
Oh. Okay.
So we will pick out of those four. The reason we do both do too. Did we? I don't know if we explained that.
Maybe not explain it again. Even if we did, we can repeat ourselves.
We do that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm becoming my mother. I hear myself doing it now. Like, I'll be at work and I'll tell a story, and then like 5 minutes later I'll tell the same story, and I'll look at my coworkers and I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, this is a mom thing.
It's my mom's fault.
Between my dad and my mom, I've got both elements of both of them. I'm definitely their child.
Yes, you are.
We both picked 2 in case we picked the same ones. But then there's random letters where she didn't pick any for, like
I
W.
just didn't have them, and I got busy.
Well, The Wedding Singer.
Oh, I've seen that in years, but I don't have that one.
I do.
Well, I was looking through my
Willow.
manga.
That was like my childhood right there. But I can't use my W ones now because she doesn't have any.
Well,
Actually,
I'll
my
get
other
some.
one wasn't Willow. It was Whole 9 Yards.
Oh my!
Love
I'm
that
good.
movie.
Gee, that's a football movie.
No, it isn't.
The Whole 9 Yards.
No, it's Bruce Willis. He's a hitman.
Uh-oh.
David. No, Matthew Perry.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
It's a funny one.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head like a W, just to say now smartly.
Wild Wild West with Kevin Kline and
I don't
Will
like
Smith.
any of those.
And
What's up, Roger Rabbit?
Waterworld. Okay, what's up, Roger Rabbit?
Waterworld.
I'm just giving W movies now. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? You could have found a W movie.
Oh, I don't own any W movies, so
We're going with D this time.
going
though.
with D.
I'm gonna make enemies with my cat brother and kick him out of the chair so that I can move positions a little bit because my back
Poor
hurts.
Gavi.
Oh yeah. Dad saved bacon from his breakfast sandwich today to give him as a treat tonight. Poor Gavi.
Gavi thinks he's this dog.
Gavi thinks he's my human brother, and he's treated pretty well. Spoiled brat cat. So we're going to watch more movies. We are at a little over like 20 hours of actual stitching time, but that's really not real because a lot of times I forget to start and stop the timer and things like that.
I knew that would happen.
It's approximately real. However, like this isn't included, and this is so much a part of a 24-hour weekend that like I feel like it should be counting into our time, even though it's not stitching, it's processing the stitching.
Showing. And we're eating. We have snacks.
Yeah, but we'd like to try to get to 24 actual stitching hours today, so that not that we're not going to stitch tomorrow, but that maybe we don't.
But
have
maybe
to
she's
going to
go home because she's acting tired.
No, Brandon just got in a. Brandon's whole schedule's now off because he's doing Extra Life stuff this weekend, and he just placed top 16 in a Magic tournament. Magic like The Gathering, not Magic like Magician.
Magic,
so he's in a tournament for that, and he, out of like 129 people, just got 16th in the top 16. So his one-day tournament turned to 2. So I don't know if that means he's not going to work tomorrow night or what. But.
Where the heart is.
See? Yeah. What Women Want. Like, there are your movies that...
What Woman Want isn't.
You didn't like that? It's Mel Gibson.
Well, yeah, but I think I ever saw that once.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I mean, I owned it at one point in time. She's just sitting here thinking of W movies.
I am now. I'm going to the whole next time. So the next time you see me, I'm going to have a whole list of W's. None that I owned because they weren't on my spreadsheet
has
that I made.
Us yet? We can rent them if we don't
I
own
know,
them.
but that was my first thing, and I had so many, and I'm thinking...
And I was working full time
I had a Y, and you didn't want to do Y.
I have 2 Y's. The only letter I only have one for is Z. You didn't have any Z's either.
No.
I
only had one
the Z
Z
movie.
because my other one was with the T's.
Oh, She is my mother and didn't know that the does not count as
Oh,
T.
wow.
Does
it
not.
Could in a case. Do you think
the library does it? No. Say it.
When was the last time you were at a library?
When I lived in your basement. I took a lot of books out of the Clyde Library, and I used.
Did you remember to take them back?
Yes. And how many books have you read on your Goodreads challenge this year?
I haven't. I have quite a few, and I
46,
haven't been logging them.
47. So library can be right up my alley.
Okay, people are probably turning us off now.
This is what they like.
Okay.
They like our banter.
Oh.
I'm not sure why we like our banter.
Oh, we do too.
We do. We'll get going like this, and then we'll get louder. And both my father and my husband don't understand it at all.
No,
and so, like, we'll start like we'll just be, and then we yell, and then we're done, and then it's not a thing. But then it's like, my dad's got to be mad at me because he thinks I was yelling at my mom, and or like then Brandon's never gonna talk to my mom again. And so like, it's just like this. What? We had fun, and somehow I married my father, so it's just kind of like
she
we're
did.
both.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she did.
In good ways.
Yeah. Well, he's handy.
Well,
no, you have a plus because yours is really handy and mine isn't.
he is.
Yeah.
He's doing really good things. I'm a little scared to see the green screen on the ceiling. Brandon, I hope. I'm sure there will be some fun edit here too. Right. So, Brandon is very handy. We won't go into the beginnings of his handiness.
Wonder Woman. Oh, I should make you watch that because you don't like her, and I like it.
What's that? DC? I don't like DC.
Wolfman. Wolf.
I would have done Wolfman.
That was good. Well,
was
Wolf
Jack
is
Nicholson?
good. Wolf is Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wild Things with Nev Campbell in. Isn't that? That would not be one that she would do.
No. Star Wars. War Star. We Wars Comet Star like you do for
That's
them.
not an article. Star is an actual word. Oh my god. It's gonna get more fun as the night goes on.
It is. Because it's getting later.
Okay, we're
gonna go now. Bye. I'm not unrolling.
Oh, well, I already started filming, so.
Oh, hello. Did I change my glasses?
I think you had the wrong ones on. She had these ones on, and then she had to actually read something, so she took them off and put the other ones on. But now we're filming, so.
No, I have to have these on so it doesn't keep falling.
Do you need them to see though?
No, it's totally fine. I need them to read.
Right. So why do you even wear them when we're filming?
Because I don't like wearing these. Because
why do you wear any?
Because I don't like my eyes. I don't have because I need something on my eyes. I'm not used to myself without glasses on.
Glasses? Okay. I have big bags because I keep sleeping in my contacts, which is bad, but I do it anyway. Mm-hmm. So my contacts are from like 8 years ago as well. So
I can't believe you still have any.
I need to go to the eye doctor really badly. I mean, they're not. This pair isn't from. I haven't been using this pair. But how do you still have same
pairs?
Because I don't know. They gave me a year's supply, and I throw them out when they feel like they need to get thrown out. I don't wear them every day, and I typically only now wear them when I'm leaving the house and need to wear a mask. But I do see better to stitch with them than my glasses.
See, I like my glasses on when I'm out because I don't want spray in my eyes.
My glasses fog, and I don't like that. And my glasses are like, well, they're older than the contacts, and they're really scratched. I need new glasses. As soon as my vaccine kicks in, that's like prime. I really should go to the dentist first, but I won't. So I will go to the eye doctor and get glasses. I'm not sure what she's doing now.
I can kind of read from a distance with these. Okay.
It is Sunday morning.
It is.
We ended up doing half of Devil's Advocate No, we watched all of the movie. I only stitched for about half of it. So we didn't hit our 24-hour stitching time last night, but we were pretty close right now. So I think we're like 20 minutes under. So we will hit that today. And I'm planning to just kind of stay here, and either Brandon will pick me up after his tournament, or
We'll take you
they'll
home.
take me home. So we've got breakfast on the way, and we watched Dave this morning.
Good one. I love that movie.
It's not a bad one.
That's a cute one. It's got romance. It's cute. Friendship.
So, like, okay, when you think
relationship.
of, like, movie genres that you really like, what's your favorite movie genre?
Who, me?
Yeah.
You're talking to me? You're talking to me?
I'm really hoping that the people that are watching 2 days
I
from
it was
now
a
are
question
gonna...
you were throwing out to the audience that I really like. Well, I like movies that have relationships, and it doesn't have to be love. I like movies that have, and they can be action movies, but ones that then, a relationship's bound, like even Con Air, that's, got lots of bad words and stuff in it. There's that relationship between him and the guy, and he was it had terrible murders, but then Nicolas Cage was a really good guy, an honorable guy, and you had that. And so, I mean, that's more the theme that I like, that just makes your heart pound a little, because there's been, and it doesn't have to be gushy love, because I wouldn't say love,
Like, I don't like
stories.
I mean, I don't really do comedies,
Well,
unless there's, I guess, a
Yeah,
but
okay,
I wouldn't classify myself as liking romantic comedies. Like, I mean, there are some, but I'm not a new rom-com's out, let me go see it.
Oh, I wouldn't say comedies. I would say romance that makes you laugh too. Like
It's a romantic comedy.
No, but then there's a silly romantic like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I would
Romantic
consider
comedy.
that. And you didn't like that?
No, it's one of the
And-
few.
And Kate and Leopold. And
Again, a
Serendipity.
romantic comedy.
But you're saying you don't like them, and those are all the ones you like.
Those are the ones that I like, but like today, like if one was released in the theaters today, it's not where I'm gonna just be like, yes, let me go because it's a new romantic comedy out. I mean, I
should
can't
go to
think
the
of
movie
really
theater.
any current ones that I care about seeing.
I don't even know what's out, because there isn't anything out because of COVID.
Okay. What'd you stitch?
I don't know, but I rolled my fabric, so it's something in this section.
She
No,
was
I
mad 'cause,
think
I don't know. She had to tear it out. 'Cause
I
she was
know
throwing
I
green.
did this tree, the green, and I did up the beehive. See, and it's 2 colors because it was a horrible yellow I never ripped out, but I wanted that in place to count with, so I put that in the bottom half, and I'll rip out the other stuff later, and then that green underneath. I did that flower, that big purple thing. Oh, I did the purple thing up top. So I was just working on that section to get some things in place. There's a lot of little ones then that can go in, and
She was saying how she wishes that there was more purple in it, but purple's like your favorite color.
well, it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore.
I feel like for some things it still is. I mean, you don't accent in purple, but like, yeah.
Accent red now.
Well, yeah, but you got mad that there was so much red.
Well, it just seemed like there's same colors. It's in the border.
But the reds that are
it's
in
fine.
here aren't the reds that are in the border.
Oh, mine is. Oh, mine is. I changed my border.
Oh, well, she
Because
changed
my border color was really, the DMC was
it.
pastel
Okay.
pink.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
Ooh, mine was.
So I was doing the house. I did the roof and the doors.
Okay.
So it was a lot of hazelnut, but that is filled in. And I'm going to work on
I can
bricks
see the
next.
blue now a lot better than
in the
last
lighting.
night. Yeah, I can
I
hardly
like
wait
it.
till the brick.
Yeah.
I want to see it with the bricks in before I do mine to see, but it looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's where I am. So, our next letter is I. She only has one.
I only have one. Maybe I'll think of them because I've been thinking of W's now. We could go back to W. I am Sam.
Okay, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe you didn't pick Independence Day.
Independence
how
Day.
How do you not
yeah.
like her?
Okay,
No,
yeah.
that would
Independence
be.
Day, yeah.
So mine, I didn't pick Independence Day because I figured she would.
Right.
So because that's a movie like if it's on, she won't change the channel.
Oh no. I love Independence Day. Yeah.
I did Identity.
And
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah, I was going to do an Indiana Jones. I had them down figuring I can do Indiana. Yeah, and that's my favorite Indiana Jones one.
I used to quote it. Anytime I did charades, it was X marks the spot.
But
It's not very creative or like original child. Like I stuck with something and that was what it was. X marks the spot. That's my, in the library where he has to do the thing and it's and then it's with the stamp. I love
that. Yeah.
What?
Well, an X marks the spot is good because earlier he says, but earlier he says an X never marks the spot in class. So,
no, I like that's probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah,
I mean it's definitely
mine.
my favorite Indiana Jones movie. But
and then the first one is my second favorite.
Which is that one? Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
And then the Temple is the one with the kid from Goonies.
I don't remember who. Maybe yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I don't
like
remember.
it.
Which one's the one with the Ark? The Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's very good, Judd. Let me think. Which one is the one with the Ark? I'm not sure. Temple of Doom. Last Crusade.
I actually wasn't going to say Ark when I was doing the in my head when I was thinking of it. I was going to say which is the one with the Nazis. But then I was like, I don't want to say Nazis on film, so I'll say Ark instead. And then it was like, oh.
I solved my own mystery.
But I guess there's Nazis in Last
There's
Crusade
Nazi?
too.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll pick which ones we're going to do and watch some movies and stitch some more because that's what we do during these weekends. My knee hurts too, and I think it's swollen, but I'm a little chubby, so I can't tell. I don't know what I did.
You don't remember pulling it or anything, but see, when I had the bursitis thing burst or bursa burst or whatever, I didn't either. All of a sudden, it just kept getting more painful and more painful.
It's the opposite leg from my fake hip. So maybe
now she's walking normal.
I know. Maybe I will have to get a fake knee too, and then I can be evened out.
Yeah, that's true.
I have so many weird things. I know. Still, like every now and then, I'll be like, I had to have my hip replaced when I was 5? Like, that's very weird. That's not normal.
It wasn't because I dropped you.
It might have been because she dropped me.
No.
We haven't figured out the cause yet. She did drop me.
You rolled. I rolled you out of the basket. It wasn't a drop. It was just kind of that basket. You just kind of rolled out, and you were all swaddled.
How big was I? How?
Oh, you're pretty tiny.
I was a preemie, so I was 2 months early and 3.5 pounds when I was born, and then she carried me around in a basket that dropped.
Well, it was a baby basket. It was the willow basket, like the Moses basket with cute calico red inside it that you slept in until she was 2 years old because she was really little.
And then I hit puberty, and my body decided that I needed to be chubby.
Well, no, you had steroids and that.
I was curvy before the steroids. I was on prednisone for. We alluded to this earlier in the filming. I think I was on prednisone my senior year of high school because I had some lung stuff, probably because I was a preemie, and I was on it from like
a long time.
all the summer through December, like winter. Like, it was awful. And prednisone face, like, it's a thing. Yeah. So,
I have a great picture. Maybe I'll have Brandon insert
No.
insert
It's
it
never
here.
going to be seen.
No, I won't let anybody see it.
She used to just look at me.
Well,
And burst out laughing.
but it's either that or cry. So, and I tended to do that.
Because I really looked like I had fat makeup on. Is really what it was. And it was right around
she just
the time
didn't look
when,
like herself
Nutty
at
Professor
all.
came out. So
Yeah.
it really looked like I was wearing a fat suit. And it was a terrible time in my life.
It was traumatic for her. And then with
my
me
mom
laughing
would
at
just
her.
look at me and laugh. Like she does.
couldn't
Like
cry.
we do. Like
Right,
not
right.
like
Well,
just
right,
like a
right.
giggle.
No. Wouldn't be able to get the words out. Yeah. But I'm consistent with that. I mean, my sister and I have a thing where she was open the garage door and her hand went up in it. I'm sitting in the car. And I just burst out laughing. In fact, I have a coffee mug to give her that says, I love you and I'll do anything for you as soon as I pick myself off the ground from laughing. But, it's just how I deal with things that are stressful sometimes.
It was not great for my self-esteem.
No, probably wasn't.
She did a really good job at all the other
Yeah.
things building me up. But.
Yeah. Well, but you gotta look back now and look at it. Doesn't it make you want to laugh now?
It makes me I will never take prednisone again. Like, I don't care what it will do for me in my life, in my extension. I will never take it again. Yeah.
Probably wouldn't work anyway because you had so much of it at that time.
It was so bad. But yeah, no, we've had some stories. It really is a wonder that we are as close as we are.
Yeah. Really? Makes you wonder?
No, I said it really is a wonder. Like, it
is a
like,
wonder.
it's surprising because we've I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
it's
not.
surprising. Now I'll start thinking about it. Okay, maybe it is. Okay.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe you could do this
By myself.
yourself like you did. You started it by yourself.
I'm
How'd
not
I ever get into it? I was just a voice on the first one. It's like the guy behind the fence, whatever his name was. Wilson.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
'11th marathon in the books.
Yeah.
Down. Is that the saying?
Or
Or is in the books scheduled?
No, for the books, I don't know. There's something about the books.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Another one for the...
Another one bites the dust.
one for the Kipper. I don't know.
We went and we did a timer, and again, I'm not the best with starting and stopping things. I sometimes forget. So we're wondering if maybe some time was missed, but we got just under 28 hours of actual stitching time. Like, I stopped at when bathrooms were, and like checking Facebook and doing these things. So, and I my phone isn't over here, is it? No, I don't have my phone to see how many movies we actually ended up doing. I had a list going. So, but
Yeah.
good progress. I think though next time, I mean, if we're still working on this, I think it's my plan for the next marathon too, but
It's fine.
we may be done.
I know. I mean,
I mean, it's not until the end of July, so
Right,
I'm thinking we may
We're
end
close
up
enough to being done
that we're not going to want to
do that.
do
we
that.
want to do
So
something else.
our plan is to pull out another project that we, at least for our Sunday stitching, that we are both doing.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be Savior's Praise first.
Okay.
I'd like that one done before I want.
Yeah, I would
Freedom
too.
Ring done. So
Yeah.
so we'll see. But all in all, I thought it was a good weekend.
It was a good weekend. Got a lot done. Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
And as always, it's kind of just my fill me
Yeah.
up weekends.
Yeah, I know.
And I am really excited I took off tomorrow though, because
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think that's
this,
good,
like
yeah.
nice be able to like go home and just go home and not like be like, oh, I have
Right.
to do this before work, and it's like, it was an
Right,
office
right.
day for me, so like I don't have to worry about driving into the office and all that kind of stuff, so I can just start the week on Tuesday and
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that'll be
that's nice. Yeah.
I think good. So, not that being here isn't like being at home because I lived
Yeah, but it
here
is different.
but I
Yeah,
miss
but it
my
is
pets.
different, even with how
My
you sit and
husband.
stuff.
Like,
well,
even
right.
talk to him this weekend.
Yeah.
He
Well,
apparently came in 8th in his magic tournament and got like $2,500 donated to his Extra Life, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, very proud of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll be like ships crossing tonight.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Right. And that, even though I'm at home, I don't really do much with Dad either. We're kind of like ships he walks through. Depending how intense it is, we don't even look up to say hi to him. And he's one's like, "Do you need anything? You need anything?" It's like, "No, we need you not to talk right now." We're counting.
I think he's ready for me to go though, because the movie ended and he came out and he was like, "Just let me know when you want me to take you home." And I was like, "Okay, it's not to film. I'm packing up, but okay."
And he went right in his room and shut the door, so he wasn't bothering us to film.
So
Yeah,
so it was
good.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock on Sunday night, so there's still.
Yeah, so there's still
still.
Chances are we're going to be stitching tonight
just not on
something,
this.
just not on this
Yeah.
one, and I might be doing some 222 playing, and I've got some ideas. So, and we got some good talk about next year for 24 hours, and have some ideas of what we want to do and kind of focus we want to take.
Yeah,
I really liked having a theme this year, that this or that. So, do you notice how crooked my face is?
No, not really.
Like my smile goes up. My eyebrows are not like.
I haven't never noticed that. I just noticed the thing with me. That's why I changed my glasses. I don't know what we can do about your smile.
I don't know. See, like when I do this, see how different my eyebrows are. Like they're not
from this angle. I don't notice it.
Yeah. Well, I do because I'm on Zoom all the time for work now, and it's like I am not symmetrical. You want to see my stitching? Because we've rambled for a while and I haven't talked about it. I got the whole house done except for the doorknobs because it calls for Havana, and the strand of Havana I had pulled was too similar to the hazelnuts. So I think I'm going to change the doorknobs to dark chocolate, though. I think I want them to be the darker just so they stand out. I loved stitching the house. Recommendation, definitely do the mortar first. When I did Seeking Refuge, I did the bricks first, and this one definitely was easier having the mortar in. And then I did the hearts first, which I think is red rocks, and then went back in and did the used bricks. So that was my system. It worked really well. I did go back and filled in like a few things that I knew were missing, like random colors. Like I finished the hedgehog and a couple other things. The basket that I knew wasn't, that one I filled in. And then just got to start over here. So I did the one start of the dog, and what's going on? Is it his tongue out? Like what is that? Because I thought it was a nose at first, and on the pattern, I really think it looks like an anteater, not a dog. Yeah. And so I can't decide. I may have to change because I just like, is it a nose? Is it a tongue? I'm not sure, but loving it.
Yeah.
And I just got to a good stopping point because I was like, oh, I can do flowers or I can do this. But I was like, no, I'm just done. I'm done. Yeah. Time to move on to something else.
Well, and I'm kind of wrinkled once again on the side. What you're holding up is really where, your side is really where I worked. And I got a lot of motifs in, finished up, got the horse started. And I was working my way down with this split. But got a lot of little motifs, and I was trying to get down to the key, but I didn't quite make it. But because I was working then, and I would have, but I realized because I taped it, but I was right on 2 sections. So I'm thinking, I'm doing all these little things that are on double 2 pages, because then if I go with my up and down, just 1 sheet, I don't have to check. So, but then I left a lot of things to fill in.
Yeah.
But I got the little hedgehog done too. I thought when I was doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
So. Well, see, like I like to do, like I do kind of. No, what do you?
Oh, that's the other side.
No, this is the one that was.
Why is yours all one color and I have 2 colors in mine? Or yours is 2 colors, but it's I can't.
No, I can't. One color. I think yours is 1 color too.
No, it isn't. This is a different color
Well,
than
that's
that.
the color is a different color.
I know, but the nose, the tongue,
I
it is
know.
the tongue
No,
sticking
my tongue
out.
is a different color.
Oh,
than
I
it,
couldn't
too.
tell that.
That's just your lighting here. It's
Right, I couldn't
Yeah.
tell that it
Oh,
was
no,
a
it
different
was a
color,
different
and that's
color.
when you said, "Is it the nose?" Then I'm looking at it, like, oh yeah, obviously, I guess it's his tongue sticking out, which is kind of big.
I mean, Watson has really big tongue.
Yeah, well, in proportion for this dog, that's
Well,
pretty big.
Watson's a pretty little dog, and has a pretty big tongue,
This is true.
and licks everything.
This is true. Yes. So, did we say what movies we were watching? Yeah, before we ended with
watched-
I Am Sam. I'm glad we ended with that one because that's a good
Yeah.
one to end with. And
What was the
then,
one before?
uh,
It was mine too.
it was yours.
Oh, Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a good one. They were two good ones. But this is just a good movie.
I know. I was kind of surprised you went with this and not Independence Day. I was, but
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
I
is it
know-
going to be too slow or this? But it really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was good. It's a good movie.
Well, and I
And
actually
the
watched
soundtrack
it
is so good.
like a week or so ago, a
What,
couple
I
weeks
Am
ago.
Sam?
Yeah.
Oh,
When I knew, and I forgot, of course, it was long ago enough. So, because I hadn't seen it in years, and I watched it when oh, this is so good.
It is so
So I
good.
knew it would go with the music and stuff, and it had a good enough thing. And, we'd done it. I love Independence Day, but we'd done it, I think, our last marathon, and I figured I
oh,
would.
my phone is here. I can tell you how many movies we did.
Oh, yeah, I wondered.
Was D before I, or did we do anything? We got up. We did. Yeah.
Dave.
So we did 16 movies,
Okay.
which isn't as many as we've done in the past. So I'm thinking the timing may be right
You're-
because we've done 18 in the past.
But 16 movies at 2 hours and movies 32 hours.
Right, but I stopped it when we weren't stitching.
Right, but
I
there
mean,
wasn't
we
that.
didn't.
Most
we
of
didn't
the time,
finish. We only did about half of Devil's Advocate.
well,
last
that's
night.
true.
There were several
Okay.
that we stopped them during.
But not for very long. Most of the time we did bathroom breaks during the break time in between. But oh well, it doesn't matter. I'll take it. Oh.
And not every movie was 2 hours. So
No,
it's not
but
like they're all.
The bulk of them were, because I was watching that. And some were over 2 hours. Like this one was 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
The one before it was, or one we watched was an hour and 50 minutes. So
She does this where she just starts talking numbers and I can see it in her head and I'm just like, I'm checked out. I don't, that, like, directions. And also, when we're in the car, she'll just be like, well, you can go this way and you can turn on this road and you can do that. And I'm like, tell me where I need to turn. I will turn. But I
don't really care why I can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's your atlas? Where's your map? You need a map in your car. I don't have a map in my car,
doesn't know
Mom.
how
Well,
to
you
use
wouldn't know how to read it anyway.
Well, that's right.
I do know how to read a map. I just don't use them because I have my GPS in my phone. And sometimes my GPS takes me on roundabout little
Right.
journeys.
That's why you need a map, because you can figure out where your GPS is taking you.
But we had a good time.
Yeah, it was
and
really
hope
good.
that you guys
Yeah.
did as well.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be something profound to end these.
You always say that, but you should think ahead of time
Pretty
to write
consistent,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Well, no,
that's,
I always
that's
say
what's
keep making those accents. That's my,
Right, but I mean,
my
other than
tagline.
that, that's your tagline. That's not something profound. Oh well.
Just not a
Till next
profound
time,
person. Gavi was he goes into the bathroom and my dad puts the water on for him and it drips. Fine, cats do that. I mean, my cats used to drink from the faucet. But so I went to the bathroom and he didn't move. Like, he stayed on the sink, sat there with his tail getting wet so that when I was done, he could splash me. And he's just very glad that I'm leaving his space.
Yeah, he's claimed the chair.
Yeah.
I see that.
Very, very eagerly and
Yeah.
quickly. So I'm going to go home to Porter and Ale
Yeah.
and Watson Lee.
And Brandon.
Yeah, but he's asleep.
Yeah, that's true.
My animals will wake up to see me.
Yeah,
He's
right.
asleep.
He's asleep till 8
So-
or 7:30.
Yeah, 7:45ish. So we're adjusting to this
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
schedule thing. It works pretty well. He does amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what is happening with us. I'm going to stop rambling. We had a great weekend. We hope that you guys did too. We will be back with more announcements about what's happening with 24 Hours in the future. For now, you can know that our next marathon will be this weekend in July. So I don't know if it's the 23rd through the 25th or whatever the exact dates are, but it is the similar weekend in July. Check the Facebook group. Email me, like we'll get you what you need to know that when those dates are. As always, do some unofficial ones. Like anytime you can get some self-care with exes, I say do it. So keep making those X's, and we will be back later.
Ready?
Bye guys.